chairman, as the leader of Pan African Congress Kenya.
Thank you. I'm Tulu Alfred, the chairman of Pan African Congress, that is affiliated to the Global Pan Africanism that is headquartered in Uganda.
What is Pan Africanism?
Pan Africanism is a very interesting thing in terms of an ideology, something that came out when our leaders were agitating for freedom and more importantly to get human dignity. It came out as that serious agitation. You remember the imperialists who were in these countries or various countries had denied us some of our fundamental rights. So in short, Pan-Africanism is there to emancipate Africans from mental, political, and social slavery. And we believe in African unity. We want to integrate all these African countries to be one country, that is the United States of Africa. These other states you call countries are actually provinces of Africa. Africa is what we believe as Pan-Africanist, as a state, as a country. From where we sit as Pan-Africanist, we know that it has sovereignty, but our position is that Africa is what is called a state. But based on the liberal theory and the realist theory, we know we are living in a situation whereby we expect most of the countries to leave some of their sovereignty and donate that power to the regional economic blocs. And that is where we look in the foreseeable future that we are going to have the United States of Africa. That is why Pan-Africanism is pushing for critical matters like the African Continental Free Trade Area. We're pushing for visa-free movement of goods and people in various states without any hindrance. We are one people. Wherever we are, we are one people. We believe in Ubuntu. We believe of the black power and the black beauty. So, as just envisioned in the Pan-African movement resolutions, the OAU and currently the African Union 2060 agenda, we want to develop Africans in such a way that the first and important thing is we must redefine our development approach. What do we want for Africans people? At the supranational level, we are pushing for bilateral and multilateral discussions with various different regional economic blocs and countries. At the micro level, we really expect the African person or whoever lives in Africa to get quality of life. And this is measured under the Human Development Index. So as Pan-African movement, we expect to challenge the government, push the government to realize that all these are met. And this one will be met in realizing the economic, civil and social freedoms and rights that are enshrined in Article 43 of our Kenyan Constitution. Various countries have the same, and we will get that in the Constitutive Act, that we must push for economic, social, and political rights for all Africans wherever they are. That is why we must push and have a voice on some of the ills that are bedeviling Africans. The current one being migration. We are seeing now some of our African states are blocking Africans to wherever they are going to. One of the states that really need to be talked to is Tunisia. We've seen what Libya is doing. And these are some of the states we need to talk to. And also, the sending states, most of these migrants, we've realized that come from West Africa. For instance, Senegal has been seen to be one of the countries that has this serious challenge. For us to avoid or reduce some of these migration challenges, we expect the Senegalese government to offer the basic services to their nation, look for new employment opportunities for their people. But if people must migrate out of these countries, it has to be structured. Let some of these countries, either individually or under ECOWAS, have a structured bilateral or multilateral agreements with the receiving countries. We are not going to allow Africans suffer the way we see them, board ramshackle boats in the name of going to get or find a greener pasture in Italy, in Spain, among other countries. We need to really have a serious discussion around migration. When you look at instability in Africa, we must ask ourselves some of the other issues. Why is Somali unstable? What is happening currently in Sudan? Does it mean that as Africans we cannot face these generals and have discussions with them? Why should Ethiopia be in a warm mode throughout? Ethiopia is known as to be one of the leading countries in Africa. Nigeria is the biggest economy in the continent. Why should we have things like the plateau killings? 200 people being killed in Nigeria, the biggest economy in Africa. Yet, Nigeria wants to send their army to Niger. So we really must have some of these discussions. We must discuss issues of debt. We've seen what is happening in Zambia. We've seen what is happening in Ghana. We really need to have serious discussions at the policy level on how we then can help Africans. Otherwise, some of these things to do with the tax challenges and the debts, if they are not sorted out, if we are not going to have those serious discussions, I'm telling you that the Africans who are going to live in the next 50 years will not have a country to survive. We are going to have neo-colonization. Africans are going to be recolonized through multinational companies. So we really need to challenge African presidents for now. We must start with some of these things. When you look at the other issues that are challenging Africans or are bedeviling Africans, issue of corruption. Why must we steal everything? Why must we all believe in this